1944. The files are sealed. Where the light is forgotten. The gates of Ravensbrück concentration camp, not the front line, but the deepest end of the rear, where women were turned into numbers. A Norwegian woman took notes on everything, every name, every scar, every final breath, recorded while alive, and as death drew near, she wrote of a horror no one wanted to believe. That notebook weighs more than the steel of any gun. It is an indictment that cannot be erased. It questions the silence of the whole world. So, what should a surviving witness do with the unforgivable truth? Lise Børsum, born in 1908, into an intellectual family. In Oslo, not a soldier, no combat training. She was a social activist, a graduate in anthropology. Her life was about social issues, justice, education. Her career seemed predestined for libraries and university halls. The spring of 1940, battle erupted. Norway was occupied. Books and theory gave way to resistance, a silent one. Børsum witnessed systematic oppression. Students, scholars were hunted down. Indignation turned into action. Step by step, carefully, she joined the Norwegian resistance movement. Her mission was a complex rescue network. She helped wanted resistance members, transported classified documents, and most importantly, helped Jews escape across the Swedish border. That network was a thin thread. Each successful escape was a tiny victory. Every night, Lise Børsum faced the fragile line between life and death. She knew well, the risk was not just for herself. Her family, her children, were always in the crosshairs. June 1943. The network was betrayed. The face of a former comrade led the Gestapo to her door. Børsum was arrested. That very night, official records state, she was charged with hostile activities against the occupying power. Weeks of interrogation at Greeny prison, not to kill her immediately, but to break her will, to expose the network. But Børsum remained silent. She was not a soldier, but she had the discipline of a witness. She did not confess. Not a single name was revealed. October 1943. She was deported. Was her silence enough to save everyone after she herself was captured? The final destination, Ravensbrück concentration camp. This was the largest camp, exclusively for women, of Nazi Germany. Over 130,000 women from across Europe were imprisoned here. For Lise Børsum, the anthropologist, this hell was a laboratory of cruelty. She decided to become the eyes and the ears for the outside world. Her mission was to documenting the medical experiments on the Polish girls, known as the rabbits, documenting the mass executions in the gas chamber, disguised as a shower room, documenting the rations, the disease, the bone-chilling cold. She recorded every death, the victim's name, nationality, date of death, a cause, if it could be determined. This was work of extreme danger. If discovered, it meant immediate execution. She hid the notes in patched clothing, in shoe soles, in cracks in the walls. Every note was a rifle shot fired at oblivion. She cooperated with other prisoners, forming an internal intelligence network. Doctors, nurses, clerks, all secretly provided data. The camp's internal files were copied carefully. Evidence of organized evil was slowly completed. When the war ended, in 1945, she was rescued by the Swedish Red Cross. Does a single page weigh more than a corpse in the search for justice? Upon returning home, Lise Børsum did not stay silent, nor did she seek personal healing. She began her work immediately. In 1946, she published the book, Fangi Ravensbrück, Prisoner in Ravensbrück. This was not an emotional memoir, but a historical report. The book was based on secret notes and detailed memories. It provided undeniable proof of the conditions and the atrocities. The book was translated into multiple languages. causing a major impact. It provided specific data. For example, on the mortality rate, due to tuberculosis, due to malnutrition, on the number of times SS doctors performed surgery without anesthesia. Her documentation was used in the war crimes trials, especially at the Ravensbrück trials. Her testimony helped convict the guards and SS personnel. Børsum's work helped preserve the memory of thousands of victims whose names no one knew. Stored truth is the ultimate weapon against fascism. Despite her huge impact, Lise Børsum was still forgotten by the main current of history. She was not a female warrior with a gun, not a seductive spy. She was the witness to the naked truth. That truth was too dark, too difficult to accept. After the war, the world wanted to heal, wanted to look forward. Børsum's story of personal hell, of systematic brutality, it did not fit the image of the victorious hero. Political circles and the press preferred stories that were easier to digest. Furthermore, the Ravensbrück documents were scattered. Accessing and verifying her details faced many bureaucratic hurdles. Lise Børsum was not hidden. She was overlooked. Does history always choose the comfortable stories to tell? Børsum continued to fight for the truth throughout her life. She became an advocate against forgetting. She wrote more articles, gave lectures, participated in international organizations. Official recognition for her came slowly. It was not a brilliant medal, but the acknowledgement of the accuracy of her documentation work. Today her book is considered one of the most important documents about Ravensbrück. It is widely cited by historians and human rights organizations. She did not receive major honors while alive, but she left a legacy no one can refute. Does the meaning of recognition still matter when the truth has been exposed? Lise Børsum died in 1985. Her legacy is not bombs, not tactical victories. It is a message written by hand in the harshest conditions. Truth is a weapon that cannot be confiscated. Even when evil tries to wipe out every trace, there will always be a scribe. There will always be a draft is secretly hidden. That is the promise of an anthropologist. Sent to history, atrocities always need to be documented, but war is not just concentration camps and secret files. Sometimes it smells of gunpowder and engine oil. Sometimes it requires someone not to sit down and write, but to stand up and fly. The next file is about the woman who challenged the steel sky over Berlin.